tricks mess up at all and it's really funny, feel free to laugh because this could turn into a comedy show, okay? So really, I'm not kidding, okay? But the first trick I'm going to show you is one of my favorites just because for the longest time I actually didn't know how this one worked because my favorite magician from home always did this trick. And I never wanted to really learn it or do it just because it was such a cool trick that he did. But then I found out a different way of doing it, so I'm just going to show you today this classic magic trick. And for the effect, we're going to be using this great piece of literature, the Daily Exponent. Round of applause for the Exponent. Very good. Very good. This is Friday's edition, and what we're going to, what we're going to do is destroy it. Okay. That's not a joke. Okay, and they're really bad jokes, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to rip up the paper. Now, what most of you should know is that there's a definite difference between a rip and a tear. Okay, a rip is permanent, and a tear you can undo. Just go with it. All right. All right. So this has obviously been ripped, or whichever one I said can be undone. Okay, but. I don't remember. But whatever happens, basically the idea is to get the paper restored. Now you could do this with any ordinary standard magic wand, but I choose to use wiffle dust. Yeah. Yeah! Thank you, front row. Okay. The only true fans here. But basically what happens, if it works right, is the paper should fix itself. That took me, like, I saw the magician that I watched do that when I was like 7. It took me until this year to learn it. I went like 10 years without knowing that. I'm going to teach you all today how I just did that. Keep your excitement to a minimum. I know this is a huge deal for all of you, okay? Believe it or not, 2 newspapers. Went right over my head, okay? So, basically, what the trick entails is you need 2 exponents. If they're the same issue, the trick looks better at the end. But I mean, with the audience this size, it really doesn't matter. Except for the front row. I mean, the back view. Yeah, okay. So, but basically, what the idea is you get one folded up small enough. This is the part that I took a while to figure out. You have to get this folded in a certain way so that whenever it's folded up very small, it can fit in your hand. Okay? So for those of you over here, maybe you actually saw me holding it, but thank you for not yelling it out. Okay? I tried this out on some friends of mine last night. A couple guys saw it, and they yelled out loud, but that's alright. Alright? So but this is basically what the packet looks like. This is really quick. And then it folds into itself like this. And basically, what the hard part is you hold it in your hand. Okay? So a lot of people think a newspaper can't be folded up that small, but I'm proving that wrong today by holding it in my hand. Okay? Not a big deal. But anyways, for those of you in the back, you probably can't see it, but for those of you in the front, you probably can see remnants of a big square in my hand. Probably. That's why you have another paper that you hold. So if you hold the paper in the right way, you won't be able to see the other paper held in my hand. The most difficult part about the trick is ripping this paper while keeping this paper hidden. So this would be a good magician, this would be a bad magician. Got it. Lots of mirror time. I have a lot of free time to practice. Not a joke either. Okay, so what we do is we destroy this paper the same way. Now that you guys know what to look for, it's probably very obvious that I'm holding this paper. And then you make up some story about rips and tears. I made it up last night and I liked it. Okay? So basically what you do is now you're going to keep this packet behind the torn paper so people can't see it. And then what you do is you fold it all up into a packet, and while you're talking about wiffle dust, which for those of you who really believed I was using wiffle dust, I didn't. I just put my hand in my pocket and pulled it out empty and I sprinkled my fingers. Okay. I didn't know, back row. Okay, so but then basically you have this torn up newspaper in your hand, and what you have to do is just flip it over nonchalantly. Okay? Like it's natural. Okay? Just flipping a torn newspaper. Okay? So then what you gotta do is you gotta open this new newspaper by keeping this one concealed in the behind. So all you do is open the packet. Remember, good magician, bad magician. Okay. Here we go. And this is restored. Okay. I know most of you are thinking, you're also a bad magician if you're spotted seeing this big packet in your hand, right? So if you're a really good magician, what you do next is, if you restore the other packet, then you're just solved, right? So that was just my short lesson for the day. I won't teach you anymore because that's breaking a lot of rules, so don't tell anybody about that.